Hi everybody, good morning. I'm Rujuta, Vinaya and Deepak. We are going to present to you a very simple but very powerful concept that will help you use the data and the models that you already have much more efficiently. Okay? So we call this scenario lab. Next slide, please. Okay, so where are we right now? The business environment is very volatile. So I want you to think about in last 1 month, what are the newspaper headlines that you have seen and that had to have an immediate action from your side on the business. So can any of you tell me what are the headlines that you have seen? Okay, so we have seen headlines about tariff. Okay, increasing commodity prices, some new wars. We have seen about GST changes. Now, all of those things we could not have anticipated in last 1 year, but that will require some kind of action from your side, right? So the business environment is very volatile, but it needs you to immediately take decisions that will impact multi-million, right? Now, how do we do these decisions with data? So you might have some models with you, but they might not be able to incorporate all of the scenarios. Let's say I'm a food company, so I have, let's say, commodity price trends. I might have sales drivers. I might have price elasticities, but do they cover all of the scenarios that you want to cover? Maybe not. They might be outdated. They might have been done 2 years back. How do you utilize them right now, right? And second thing that happens often is you might have various things, but they don't talk with each other. And then it needs somebody who is able to make sense of all of it to take decisions. Now, this is where we come in, okay? What we are trying to do is get something that can help the models talk with each other. That can be a lightweight, always on kind of scenario. So you get a situation, you work with these scenarios, you figure out which scenarios best work for you, and that will work forward. So that is what we are going to present to you today. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to tell you in very broad terms how this works at an overall level, okay? Let's imagine that I'm a food company and I have data. Now, this model takes last few quarters data, takes linear regression and forecast for next couple of quarters. This is assuming that there is no change in the market, right? Now, if you have any other models that you are working with, you might have sales driver decomposition, you might have some price elasticities, you might have some news that you are tracking. All of that you also put into the scenario lab to set up. Now, if I take a action, let's say I increase my prices by 5%, I'm going to have some impact on the volumes. If, let's say, commodity price changes, there is going to be some impact on the prices. So all of these things, then I can actually predict and overlay on the projections that I have already done. And this is something that I can do for my own product. I can also do it for my competition. And I create various scenarios. And these scenarios can tell me what is the action that will give me maximum benefit. So this is what we are talking about. Connect the dots between all of the data and all of the models that you have and create scenarios that will tell you, how is your strategy going to work out in real life scenario. This is also something that you can do with your existing data. So it's something that you can do in real time. If today I want to explore, let's say, 7 scenarios, I could do that. That is the actionable thing that I can do. And this is not on, somebody else's data. This is my category, my brand, my markets that I'm focusing on. So it's completely customizable for you. Right? Now, there is, this is something that typically has been done by people who understand statistics inside out, but everybody who is using this might not be so well versed with statistics, right? So we want to understand, is this something that we can actually do in simple language? And that is where actually today's technology comes in a lot. So, hi. So, next slide, please. So if, let's say, I want to understand I want to increase prices, okay? Now, the model takes some other inputs, but we have an AI bot that is going to take simple language inputs and convert them into the inputs that the model will understand. So here I have an example. Let's say the model asks me, what is the kind of thing that you want to do? And I tell it something, and it will interpret it. It will ask me more questions to take the inputs that the model will desire, and it will interpret the simple English language into the actionable inputs for the model. And that is something that will be taken forward. It will give you scenarios, and you can work with that. Now, this sounds very simple, but there is a lot of technology that has gone in. So let's look at under the hood, how does that happen? So I'm handing over to our data scientist, Deepak.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Rujuta. So I will talk about the how part of the story. Since the rise of GenAI and agentic AI frameworks, we are seeing a tectonic shift in the way we can consume the analytics. So I can ask a question, and instead of getting some report or a dashboard, I simply get an answer, and then the conversation continues. This is a very, very powerful thing, and it can actually, in the back end, there could be multiple models which are working in tandem to build a cohesive context. That's a very, very powerful and. Here, it actually reduces the complexities. It abstracts all the complexities and builds gives a very holistic picture. And this actually, think of it from the democratization point of view. So not just big guys, think of small and medium businesses. They don't have time, they don't have resources, but this can become a DIY tool for them. So if you look at the architecture, on the left-hand side, we have gamification layer, and on the right-hand side, we have agentic AI layer. So that's our version of and for the theme of this conference. So this is a very extendable and flexible architecture, and it is still evolving. It is agnostic. We have built it with Microsoft AutoGen, but it can be anything. It can be LangGraph, it can be Crew AI, anything that can orchestrate the agents, basically. And this is like a Lego structure, multi-agent architecture, if you will. It starts with the challenge generator. This is where we set up the game. We give mission statement, we give objective, we give the guardrails, configs, and this is where it starts. Then it goes into persona manager, where we can build the players, if you will. We can build the market leader, we can build challenger, researcher, moderator, and even the customers. So persona it's just a prompt, and it is a very convenient and intuitive way where we can define the traits for the persona, and we can see them reflecting into our study. Then the real magic actually happens on the tool chest, which is on the right-hand side. To start with, we have forecasting tool, we have pricing tool, database query tool, and news tool. But it is not limited to that. It can be anything. We can get Twitter sentiments, we can get macroeconomic data. The list can simply go on. We can also bring in the third-party APIs, which is like model as a service. So this tool chest is where all the independent models, they can feed into each other, and that builds a cohesive context, and the conversation goes on. That's the tool for assistant agent. And then we don't want to leave it only to the agents. There is human in the loop. We have user proxy agent because we want the users to intervene and interact with the system. Now this system, we also have seen some limitations because this is Gen AI, so we have seen some hallucination. We have seen the context building up very heavy, and we have also seen the models are somewhat getting delayed because the way they are built for batch production. But then, looking at this, we did not just keep it on the paper. We actually did a POC, and for that, I will hand it over to Vinaya.
Thank you, Deepak. And as exciting as this concept was, we wanted to bring it to life. So what we did was we went ahead and opened up this challenge as part of a generative AI hackathon for the global NielsenIQ community. The outcome is a working prototype which has been validated across markets, across industries, across use cases, and scenarios as well. We also went ahead and sought feedback from some leading industry voices, and the feedback was very, very encouraging, and it also gave us some amazing ideas for improvements as well as additional features. So when we think of this concept in its future state, as we continue to develop it, this is a framework that can work with any data, your data, create an environment that is entirely customized to your industry, its needs, and your business priorities. It could accompany you as your personal, lightweight, and always-on assistant as part of your annual business plans, as part of your strategy review meetings, working hard as you, with you, to create those simulated outcomes for you in a risk-free manner, in a very simple, interactive, and a conversational way, in very, very accelerated manners, which otherwise would take weeks. The vision is to put the simplicity, to put the transformative power of AI in a fun and an interactive way in your hands, so that you are able, and this takes care of all the what-ifs, so that you are able to focus on so what, and then what's next, right? Think of this as your own personal Jarvis, while you go and be, your own insights Iron Man or Iron Woman. So we would love to hear your thoughts, and we would invite your suggestions and feedback as we continue working on this product. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nielsen team. The floor is open for questions. Please share your questions in the Q&A option. Thank you. First question, the gamification layer, can it be replaced with another agentic layer? So is it possible, or the gamification layer, which you have in the first, can it be replaced with another agentic layer, AI layer?
Yes, definitely. So the gamification, of course, all the games nowadays we see they use some kind of AI. So there can be AI on the gamification layer itself. So it's not just, it is not separated on the left and right. AI is everywhere.
Another question. So what are the concerns with data security while sharing with GenAI? And what will be the impact of hallucination and biases of the AI on the results what we get from that one?
Yes, definitely. That's a great question. So data security, when we are building the challenge, that time itself, we define the data scope, and we make sure that for the given study, whatever data is required, we scope that data, we pre-train the models, and only that part of data is used for that study. So we define the boundaries. And as far as hallucinations, we have seen that with prompt engineering, with better prompts, with examples, few short examples, we can reduce hallucination to a great extent. Also with the new models like if ChatGPT 4.0 is there, 5 is much better than that. So with the models, with new GenAI models, hallucination is reducing. So those things are helping us.
Another question from the audience. Would you consider launching this as a service? If yes, what inputs from your would-be clients are needed to do that? So would you like to consider launching this as a service? If yes, what inputs from your would-be clients are needed to do that?
What is the second part?
If yes, what inputs from your would-be clients are needed to do that?
That's a great question. So would you like to launch this as a service? And what inputs would you need from your client in order to do that, right? There is option, okay? The big vision that we have for this is it's an always-on lightweight component with the data that you are already using. The inputs that you need from the client is that you want to set up various scenarios, right? Now, each category, each brand has its own particular challenges, and those are the challenges that you want to actually address. So the client will need to understand what are the scenarios that they are playing with, and those inputs need to be put in when you are setting up the game for the client. So these would be the inputs. However, a lot of times the team can help because a lot of times data can be used to get those inputs. Yep. Thank you.
One more question. What is the stack on which the model is built, and how do you measure the accuracy? what is the stack on which the model is built? And how do you measure the accuracy?
Okay, yeah. So in this architecture, we are not building any new models. Everybody, like, there are forecasting models in the market, there are pricing models in the market. So in this architecture, we are not building new models. Whatever models are there, their accuracy remains. All we are doing is we are building a layer on top of all these models, because today whenever these, let's say, forecasting model or pricing model, they are working in silo. So here we are trying to build the Gen AI layer where your models will give feedback to each other, and that's the layer. So accuracy is whatever you build with your data, that's the accuracy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We look forward to your feedback. Thank you.